Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am filming a video for you guys today, obviously, and that video is going to be reading anticipated reads. Anticipated new releases, to be exact. I have 3 books that I am planning to read in this video. Fun fact, I am filming this after I read all these books, so you are going to see tabs in one of these books. A little sneak peek for you. But yeah, I'm filming this afterwards, so don't be confused. I'm reading 3 books in this video, and let me show you the books. One of them is going to be Business Casual by B.K. Borison. In this book, we are following Nova and Charlie, and they are they friends? I don't know. Basically, Nova and Charlie know each other, and Nova just wants to get Charlie out of her system. So she decides, I'm gonna have a one-night stand. We're gonna have a one-night stand, and I'm gonna get you out of my system, and we'll be good. Does it ever work out that way? We shall see. But this is the first, or not the first book, one of the books that I'm going to be reading in this video. I'm very excited. All of the other books in this series have been 5 stars. Well, 2 of them have been 5 stars. The other one was 4.75. So, as you can see, I am a big fan. One of the other books is going to be Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is the 3rd book in the Maple Hills series. I don't know if it's a trilogy, so I'm just going to say series. I've been waiting for this book. Babe, I've been waiting for this book to come out. In this book, we are following Hallie and Henry. Henry is the one that everyone's been waiting for, let's be honest. If you say you haven't, you're lying. So, in this book, we are following Hallie and Henry is having some trouble with his grades. So he then starts talking to Hallie, and Hallie offers to help him, and they form a little friendship or whatever. And that's what we're following in here. And in this book, you are also following the lives of their individual lives as well. And I'm excited, to say the least. I think that this is going to be a 5-star. I think it is. And the last book that I may be reading is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. In this book, we are following Ricky, and I'm pretty sure his name is Ezra. I think, maybe. We're following Ricky and Ezra, and Ricky is opening a flower shop, and she's opening it in Harlem, New York, and she meets this man, this mysterious, gorgeous looking man, and she can't get him out of his head. She can't get him out of her head. And we are just following their love story, and also Ricky's journey of opening this flower shop and leaving her family. Guys, I'm excited for this as well. I have loved Tia Williams' writing before. I've only read one other book by her. You're probably thinking the way I'm talking, I've read all of her books. I read 1 book by her, and it was a 5-star, and it left such an impression on me. So I'm excited for this one as well. So yeah, I don't know which one I'm going to be reading first, so you guys will just have to stay tuned. And yeah, I will update you guys at some point when I start a book. So I literally just grabbed my phone because I need to speak right now, right here, right now. Starting Daydream. And I literally just finished the author's note. Didn't even or what did it say? A letter to the reader? Not even an author's note. A letter from Hannah. Just finished reading that, and why am I gonna cry? I think that it was very important for her to write that. Whenever I read books and think of how much that people put into what it is that they're writing and what it is that they're putting out, it actually scares me. It scares me to death, because obviously these characters that they're creating have some part of them in them. And Hannah Grace said that. She said that she, in all of her characters, and she points out what is in these characters that is also in her. And I think that is very brave of her. I think it's brave to just put a book out in general, something that you are proud of and something that you think is amazing, to put that out for everyone in the world to then criticize and read. Is very brave, because I know I wouldn't do it. But I just need to say that because this letter basically just tells us how much of Henry is in her, and I don't know, it's nice to see an author so vulnerable, but it's also like, how are you doing this? Because I wouldn't have the strength. I would not be brave enough to be doing that. I applaud her for that because I couldn't. So I'm gonna read this. I just know I'm gonna love this book. I just know, but we shall see. As I read that first chapter, I don't think I've ever been more annoyed and angry reading a book. I don't think I have. That Will just made me so mad. The audacity that this man has. We don't even have to speak on it. But I'm already feeling so seen in this book. So, and I've already got my tabs. We're using this color because the book is purple. So yeah, this book is going to be annotated because it's giving me those feels. I'm excited. Okay, so I think I have yet to update you guys on Daydream since I talked about Hannah Grace's author note. So we're gonna do that now. Daydream. I am eating this book up, guys. I can't lie. I cannot lie. It's so good. I'm 53% of the way through. I'm on chapter 21. First of all, let me tell you something. When I started today, I was on chapter 4, page 35. You wanna know what chapter I'm on now? I just told you I'm on chapter 21, page 221. I love that. Chapter 21 to 21, perfect, really makes me happy. But I'm 53% of the way through, and I thought maybe this was a good time for me to update you guys. Do you see how many tabs I have in this book? First of all, I've never tabbed a romance book this much. Never ever. Also, I've never tabbed a book this much in the first 50%. Never. So if you guys can't see the colors, I have purple, yellow, and pink because those are the colors on the cover. The smallest bit of yellow, but it's there. Pink and then purple, obviously. So purple is like anything that I've related to. Obviously, you see there's a lot of purple in here. Yellow is like funny things because Henry is hilarious. I've always thought Henry was hilarious in the first two books. He's really shining. His humor, chef's kiss. And then pink is like cutesy little moments that I needed to highlight so that I could go back and read them again. Because we all do it, let's not lie. But you see how many like purple ones there are within my tabs. I relate to both of these characters so much. It's actually insane how much I relate to both of these characters. I love it. I'm loving it. Nothing has really aggravated me. Like nothing. I have literally no complaints about this book, and it's nice to seeing all of the other characters. Like we're seeing a lot of Russ and Aurora. I know that Wildfire was very much mixed when it came to reviews. I personally loved Wildfire. Loved it. And the fact that we are like seeing them a lot in this book makes me very happy. We see a good amount of Anastasia. I think that's her name. But whenever like people are saying like her nickname, I called her Stasia. That's just what I did. But I'm pretty sure her name is Anastasia. But like we're seeing a lot of her because she's still in college. And we get mentions of Nate. He was in a couple of, him and JJ have been in a couple of scenes. Really warmed my heart seeing them, but we are not seeing them as much. We are seeing a lot of Robbie, the rest of the hockey boys. Oh, I'm actually in love with this book. I love it. what can I say? What can I say? I'm really enjoying it. But I will say one thing. Her family, I'm not huge fans of them. But I know it is very important to Hallie and her personal development and character development. I know it's very important because I see a lot of myself in Hallie, and I see a lot of the same family dynamics in her family that are in my family. So I know it's very important. They just annoy me a little bit, which is fine. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish this today, honestly. Unless I stay up until like 1 o'clock in the morning, which honestly is not really out of the ordinary for me. I'm just gonna be honest and say it's not. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm really enjoying this book. So yeah, here's Daydream. I'm almost certain this is gonna be a 5-star. This has given me the 5-star feel since the first chapter. Okay, maybe not the first chapter because Will was in the first chapter. Don't like him. Since the second chapter, giving me 5-star feels. So I'm gonna go finish this and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. You said I was walking with another man, with another man, and you said you won't forget me. I was walking with someone else. It wasn't you, and it wasn't me. You said I was walking with another man, with another man, and you said you won't forget me. I was walking with someone else. You guys saw me finish the last few pages of Daydream by Hannah Grace. If these tabs tell you anything, it's that I loved the book and this book was a 5-star. I do know that. It was just, I don't even know. I felt so connected to all of the characters, honestly, except for Will. I don't feel connected to him. I'm nothing like him. Everyone else, I felt some type of connection towards them and I saw myself in some way in them. So that made me enjoy this book a lot as well. But these two characters in particular, like mirror images of me. Kind of weird. But yeah, those are the thoughts I'll tell you now. Yeah, I loved it. I have since started another book. Book 2. The book that I started. No one's surprised. Business Casual by B.K. Borison. In this book, we're following Nova and Charlie. As you can see, I have like 200 pages left. I have a habit of starting books before talking about starting them. I'm like not 50% of the way through, almost, but I'm enjoying this. Nova is a tattoo artist. You literally don't need to say anything else. This is also based in the fall, so honestly, it's kind of perfect timing. But so far, it's basically they have a one-night stand because they're like, if we sleep together, like we won't have these feelings for each other anymore. Like we get it out of our systems and we'll be fine. That's what they think. Does it ever work that way? No. But they thought like, oh, like if we do this once, like we'll be fine. And so basically that happens, and now they're obviously it didn't work and they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. I've kind of gotten to, it's like a couple days after it has happened and they're kind of trying to figure out their feelings for each other. And Nova, our female main character, is very much distant in a way where she doesn't like to express her feelings. She's kind of not cold-hearted, like that's not the right word, but she's very, what's the word, I don't know, she doesn't show her feelings very much, and it is evident with the situation that is going on right now. And Charlie very much, he shows his emotions, so they're kind of clashing in that way. The thing about BK Borison's writing is that it's so easy to get through, so I could finish this today. I'm not I think I'm not reading it as quickly as I can. I don't want the series to end. I don't want it to, but from what I've read, I do enjoy it, and I think it's cute. Y'all, so I'm a crybaby. I finished this book like 2 hours ago and I cried. I did. This book just wrapped everything up so nicely in a nice little bow, and I'm emotional because this is the last book. There's no more books in the series. Like, it's over. Like, that just makes me very upset, and I'm not ready to fully grasp that and accept that, so I'm not going to. I'm gonna stay delusional for just a little bit more. But business casual, it is safe to say that this one is my favorite out of all of the books in the series. All of them are super amazing. Like, this is these books, it's a 5-star series for me, okay? But this book is for sure my favorite. I just think that this book is so me-coded, you know? I have never seen a male main character so vulnerable and show his emotions so explicitly, and I think we need more main characters like that. We need more men that like to show their emotions and aren't, well, okay, Charlie was definitely afraid to show his emotions, but he had his reasons for it, and other than that, he did show his emotions. Like, he never like really suppressed them unless he thought it was at the expense of someone else. And I don't know, I just saw myself a lot in both of these characters, specifically Charlie. As sad as it may be, I did, and this book just hits home for me a lot. It's a 5-star. Like I said, I'm not going to be accepting the fact that this is the last book in the series and the last I'm going to see of these characters, because I just, like, mentally, no, I can't do it right now. No, I can't do it right now, so I'm not going to. What's best for my mental health is for me not to accept that, so I'm not going to. In this book, you see a lot of the other characters. Throughout all of the books, you see a lot of the characters, but I think in this book, the presence of each of the other characters in the book, like Stella and Beckett, a lot. Mostly Beckett, because Beckett is in this book a lot because he is Nova's big brother, so he pops up a lot in here. Stella, not so much, and I'm not gonna say why because that is a spoiler, but she is not in this book as much, but she is talked about a lot. We see a lot of Layla, we see a lot of Caleb, like, we see a lot of everyone, and the found family in this book and being able to see all these characters again and see how they all come through for one another is just beautiful. So this book is a 5-star. I finished it. I started this book on Friday, and I could have finished this book on Friday. I could have finished this book Friday. I could have finished it Saturday. I could have finished it yesterday on Sunday. I have been dragging my feet to finish this book because I didn't want it to end, but I'm like, you have to finish the book at some point. I did it, and I cried. I surely did. I think it was the last chapter did it for me. So yes, please read it. Please read the books in order. This is an amazing finale to a book series. But yeah, that was the second book of this video. Now we're going to read the very last book of this video of reading my anticipated releases, anticipated new releases. And this book I'm actually super excited about. I've only read one other book from this author, so I'm gonna show you. Let me go get book 3. The third and final book is none other than A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. Y'all know, or at least you should know, how I feel about 7 Days in June. I love that book. I read that book. I got that book for my birthday. Fun fact, I went to Barnes & Noble and why did I say it like that? I went to Barnes & Noble and got that book on my birthday in 2022? No, 2023. And I read that book super quickly, loved that book, and have since been waiting for this book to come out. So we now have it, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. I think this is going to be a 5-star. 7 Days in June was a 5-star. Honestly, I don't really know what this is about, but I know it is with a musician and an artist, I'm pretty sure. And it takes place in Harlem. Yes, it takes place in Harlem with like a 1920s, like the Roaring 20s type of setting, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. Like, I don't know if it's a historical romance, like if it actually takes place in the 1920s or if it's just 1920s Roaring 20s-esque. I'm not sure. I have to read to find out. But I love the way that Tia Williams writes. I feel like she writes so poetically, so beautifully. So I'm really excited to dive into her books. And as well, I think I really like seeing people that look like me in books, whether it's a romance book, a thriller book, a fantasy book, it doesn't matter. I like seeing the representation, and Tia Williams, but also Kennedy Ryan, I've talked about her books before. She also writes Black love stories, so I do tend to stray towards their books because I do like the aspect of them writing stories about Black people. That's another thing I'm really excited for. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I hope I enjoy it. The other 2 books have been 5-star books for me, so it will be very upsetting if this book is not a 5-star for me, considering when I picked my TBR, I picked this as a book you think you will get 5 stars. So we shall see. I'm going to read this and update you guys at some point when I'm more into this. Okay, so I don't know if I've updated since I started A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. I don't know how far I am. 40 something percent of the way through. I'm on page 151, chapter 12. I don't know what it is about this book, but I think maybe I went into this thinking it was something else. I didn't know this was kind of a historical fiction. You're going through 2 different timelines, basically. You're going back to the 1920s in some timelines, and then in another timeline, you are back in 2024. Fine. I also I feel like we're gonna have like a big reveal in this chapter, which is why I stopped, because I need to tell like my thoughts. It's not that I'm not liking this, I think it's just not catching my attention like I thought it was going to, and I don't know why that is. I'm just not as interested in this as I was in 7 Days in June, which is okay. I'm still enjoying it, it's just not as much as I enjoyed that book. I don't know if I told you about this. We're following Ricky, and I think I said before that the person she was a painter. She's not, she's a florist. That's what she is. She's a florist. And then our main character, Ezra, our male main character was, I don't know yet, a pianist, a musician. And I don't know, there's a lot of things, they're alluding to a lot of things, but nothing's actually being told to me. So I'm very confused when reading this book. Like, I honestly don't really have any idea what's going on, and I think I'm going to figure out what's going on right now. But I've said this before, I don't usually like being confused when I'm reading books. I just hate to be confused when I'm reading a book. So hopefully that confusion goes away and I kind of figure out what's happening. But I am about almost halfway done with this book, so we'll see. I'm going to continue reading, and then I will probably update you guys at some point later, probably when I get to that 50% mark. So yeah. Okay, y'all, let's talk. The video's over. Well, the video's not over. It will be after we have this talk about the books that I read. I read 3 books in this video, and let me tell you, they were all amazing books. I shall just finish. Well, actually, I finished it yesterday. You guys may be wondering, why is this being posted on Wednesday? Because I didn't finish A Love Song for Ricky Wilde until yesterday at like 10 o'clock. Because I was sleeping all day because I was sick. So, there's your explanation as to why this is being posted on Wednesday and not Tuesday. A girl gets sick sometimes, okay? I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to start with A Love Song for Ricky Wilde because that's just like fresh in my brain. I know my rating. Well, I know my rating for the other ones too, but like I know what this is going to be and I remember the most about this. And then we will go to Business Casual and to Daydream. Let me go get the books. Okay, like I said, we're going to start with A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. I am going to give this book a 4. You guys are probably like, what? What do you mean? Are you confused with the number 5? No, I'm not. I'm going to give this a 4, which is still a good rating. A 4 is a great rating, in fact. It's just that I don't know if it's me, if I was thinking that it was something that it wasn't. This was very much historical. It had a lot of magical elements. So here's the thing. If you guys are a type of reader who needs to read, who is very much like a seasonal reader, like you read summer books in the summer, you read fantasy books in the fall and the winter, this would be a good book to read in the fall because it is very magical. And I think like the vibes fit the fall. Okay, so there's that. This book just had a lot. It was also historical. Like you have 2 different like plot lines. One taking place in the 1920s and then one taking place in 2024. I was not aware that, I think I said in the beginning, I don't know if it's based, like I don't know if the setting is 1920s or if it's 1920s-esque. And I, in my brain, was thinking, oh, this is 1920s-esque because it takes place in Harlem. I was like, oh, it's going to be 1920s-esque. It's not going to be placed in 1920, but in parts of this book it very much was, and I just don't think I was ready for that. Also, like I've said this before and I will continue to say because this book is no different. Tia Williams' writing is beautiful, so poetic, so like it literal art. So like that didn't change. Her writing is beautiful. I guess the book just didn't really grasp me. And like I said, maybe it's because I was thinking that it was something it wasn't. Honestly, that's probably what it is. Because when I was reading it, I was enjoying it. It just wasn't really grasping my attention. I loved Ezra. I really did. He is an amazing man. Amazing man. But yeah, I did enjoy the historical parts. It's just not, I just wasn't expecting them. So maybe that's why. It's not maybe, that's why. but I did enjoy the book for what it was, which is why it's a 4-star. It just didn't grasp my attention enough for me to rate it anything higher. But yeah, I would still recommend this book. I would just make sure you're doing a little bit more research than I did about what this book is about, so you're not confused. I will continue to read her books. Like I said, her books are beautiful. The love stories in her books are beautiful, and the ending of this book really got me. The ending of this book was actually amazing because it like wraps everything up in a nice little bow. It was beautiful. Della, I love her. But yeah, I will continue to read her work. This one I think just caught me a little bit off guard, but it was still a great book. Before that, I read Business Casual by B.K. Borison. I talked at length about this and about Daydream, so I'm not really going to go into much about them at this point. This was a 5-star. This was my favorite book in the series. I have since accepted the fact that the series is over. It's been like a week or so, like a week, 2 weeks since I read this book. I've since accepted the fact that the series is over. It was a hard thing for me to accept, let me tell you, because I'm not ready. I'm not ready, but I have to be the adult that I am and accept things when it's right in my face. So I really did love this book. I relate to Charlie so much in so many different ways with his anxiety and the way that he processes and shows his emotions. Love him. Nova, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that I necessarily relate to Nova. I do in very like minor ways. But I did love Nova. She's also a tattoo artist. I mean, that's all you really gotta say. I mean, come on. So yeah, I really did love this book. I loved seeing all the characters and the way that this book wraps up. It's honestly, I cried, guys. I cried at the ending of this book because it was just so beautiful. You get everyone in their own little bubble. Like, you get everyone like all together celebrating something beautiful. I'm just like, guys, I'm actually not okay. Like, I'm actually not okay. This is a 5-star. Everyone needs to read this book. It's beautiful, and B.K. Borison can do no wrong in my eyes. Absolutely no wrong. Like, she just can. I need to, like, does she have any other books? Because I need to read them, like, right now. I need to be in another world of hers, because me just not having another book to read by her just doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like something's missing. So, 5-star. The first book that I read in this video is my favorite book of this video, and probably one of my favorite books that I read this year, because I have been waiting for this book to come out for so long. Since I read the first book of the series back in like October of 2023, I've been waiting for this book to come out, and this book did not disappoint. Like, not at all. That book is Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is a romance between Henry and Hallie, and it was so beautiful. My thing is, I've noticed that I like a romance book that has some depth to it, where it's not just strictly romance, you know? You get like a lot of backstory into the character's family, into the character's thoughts or whatever, which is why I think I like Happy Place so much. This book gave me that. You're seeing so much of Hallie's family life and Henry's like personal like struggles, and also the growth of these characters is insane. I see myself so much in these characters, hence all the purple tabs that you see throughout this book. I talked about this book in my September reading wrap up because I read this in September, and I don't even know how to put my thoughts into words as to what I feel about this book, but I feel so much. I relate to these characters, every single one of these characters besides Will. We don't like him, and I don't associate myself with him. I'm nothing like that man. Nothing. But it was just so deep. the things talked about in this book, I think, are things that everyone can relate to. And also seeing representation, not just Henry being a black person, because I'm a black woman, so seeing people who look like me in books always make me feel very like seen. But also Henry is on the spectrum. I have a god brother who's on the spectrum, and I also have a friend who's on the spectrum, so seeing that in a book also makes me very happy. I think people tend to stay away from that as to not do something wrong, but seeing that makes me happy just because I know people who are on the spectrum, and it's nice to see that representation in books. There's that. Love this book. Literally everything about this book. There was not a part of this book where I was like, I need to put this down because I don't like it, or I need to put this down because it's boring, or it's not catching my attention. There was literally no parts like that. I wanted to read this 24/7 all day, every day. Like, there was not a point in time where I wanted to put this book down. And I think that says enough. So, this was a 5-star. These were the 3 books that I read in this video. Honestly, all of them met my expectations. I liked all of these books, loved most of these books, and I will continue to read anything that these authors put out. These are autobiographies for me. I mean, like, are we surprised by how I just talked about these books? I don't think anyone's surprised. I would absolutely recommend all of these books to anyone. I would recommend them to anyone because they're just all so deep, powerful romances. Especially Love Song for Ricky Wilde and Daydream are both very deep and powerful. Especially Love Song for Ricky Wilde. That's a powerful love story if I've ever read one. So I would recommend all of these books. These 2 are part of series, so you do need to read the other 2 of this and the other 3 of this one. But A Love Song for Ricky Wilde is a standalone. It does include some characters from 7 Days in June. So if you want to read that, you can. But like, if you haven't read the book, like, seeing them, you wouldn't even realize. Like, you wouldn't realize. But seeing them made me happy. But yeah, that is the end of this video. If you guys have read any of these books, tell me how you feel, because I need to talk about it with someone. I need to share my happiness with someone. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.